Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Lightworkers Roundup. I'm sorry, Roundup. Yeehaw! Roundtable. Wait a few minutes, let notifications go out. And before I start, and let the volume get turned down on the cell phone. I think I'd remember to do that earlier. Oh, sorry about the smoke. Once in a while, it's going to go across there. It's my incense. It's almost done. It's almost over. Almost over. What's everybody doing? Probably all trying to drive home, trying to, cook dinner, eat dinner. Back east, it's 8 o'clock, thinking about heading to bed. I hope I don't, keep you up, but at the same time, I don't want to make you sleepy either. I just want to make you feel good when you go to bed. The purpose of this is to show you guys, talk to you guys about what we do. We do our very best to stay positive for each other, for our loved ones, especially, and for you guys, for this community. But there's a bigger purpose in our joining together. There's a reason we have all come here. And it's kind of like if you've been to the old movie, The Highlander, or the old TV series, The Highlander. This is the gathering, you guys. We are gathering together. Hi, Manasa. We're gathering together to be the guides, the living, walking guides for those who are newly awakening. Let me tell you, experiencing someone who is going through an awakening for the first time can be quite shocking to you if you've never seen it before or never been involved with it before. Usually starts out with them rejecting you severely because they don't understand what's going on and they think you're woo-woo. And you just got to hold them with love and go about your business. And as they observe, as they watch you, if they're members of your family, neighbors, whatever, they start to see that you handle things a little differently. And they never really noticed that about you before. There's always something about you that it's a little bit more like sunshine than rain. They don't realize that we're empaths and we feel them as well as see them. And if we gave in to the rain and their feelings of rain, it'd always be a stormy sea for us. So we have to develop rituals and practices that get us out of those doldrums, that will stop us from absorbing that energy from those who are scared because everything that they thought they knew just got turned on their head. I remember when I had my awakening, that was kind of how I felt. It was like, I always knew there was more. And then as I started to see the more, and more and more and more, raised my vibrations. The higher my vibrations got, the more I could see, the more I could hear, the more I could feel. So it's like this circle back here. That's why I picked the name Roundtable, because we are all in this together. Those who are awake and those who are not. And those of us who are light workers, who are here to help shine our light so they can see the way, which also makes us a lighthouse or a magnet, which is okay. It's our job. That's what we're supposed to do. Anyway, I'm Katie. In case you didn't know, tell you a little about myself. I was born in Arizona, grew up in Arizona, Utah, and Oregon. Each one of those states was an extremely different experience for a young child to be getting her footing. It's bad enough when you're cat hair. When you're a government kid and you move like every 2 years, it's really hard to feel stable. So you become stable in your little nuclear house, your nuclear home, your mom and dad. With me, it was my mom and dad and I. And whatever pet, guinea pig, bird. Because in the national parks, you can't have dogs and cats. Because they disturb the wildlife. They kill the wildlife. And the wildlife kills them. So, and all that in the park is protected. That wildlife is protected. Your dogs and cats aren't. So they don't allow them for the people who live there. Or at least they didn't when I was a kid. So my playmates were the wild critters and the wild things. And that set me on a road to environmentalism. And my family, my extended family, I have a half brother and a whole bunch of cousins. None of them understand that about me. They don't understand why I'm such a tree hugger. And it's like, well, for one thing, when you cut a tree down, I hear it scream. I literally hear you killing it. So, hey, hi, Marge. Glenn Miller's story. Yes. You know, hi, Janet P. My mom and dad were ballroom dancers. I grew up with Glenn Miller and all that stuff. Oh, to watch them dance. You know, the memory of watching them dance just gave me goosebumps. There goes my vibes. Oh, wow. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's a bedspread, believe it or not. I think that's what you're looking at. I'm not sure. I just signed up for the paid StreamYard, and now I can put in backgrounds and stuff. So I'm not quite sure if you're seeing the physical background behind me or a digital one that I also have listed in there. On YouTube, it's showing the physical background. So yeah, cool. Anyway, I lived in national parks I started at the Grand Canyon at 3 years old till the summer between 5th and 6th grade, which was 1968. Summer 69, I guess. Yeah, it was the summer of 69. I moved to town. I went from 26 kids in my whole school to 26 kids in just my room alone, and there was a whole nother room with that many kids in my grade. Culture shock. Whew. Go from living in a one-room schoolhouse to this big school with recess and PE. What was that? We would just go outside and climb trees and play and stuff. So yeah, it was a culture shock for me. But I had my little nucleus bubble of my parents. So I was always safe at home. Very blessed to have parents that made sure I had a safe home. Not to say that they didn't have their issues and didn't fight and argue. They were the World War II generation. You got married for life. I hated PE too. I have flat feet. As a matter of fact, you see my footprints around a swimming pool, you'd think a baby Bigfoot was around because the arch of my foot touches the ground. They'd never take me in the military because I'm very nearsighted and I have flat feet. Thank you. Anyway, I went from being the country bumpkin to going into science, going into the medical field, going into college, learning how to party, because I majored in fraternities, if you want to know the truth. Took me 4 years to get a 2-year degree. First job out of college was as a dishwasher in a hospital, and I did it for 2 years. In 1980, I made $4.48 an hour, complete benefits. Health insurance, I didn't pay for anything because I was working in a hospital. Come on, it was all covered. That was good money in 1980, $4.48 an hour as a dishwasher. Horrible job. But you know what? Talk it out, teach you. I know I'm never going to starve. I can always go knock on a restaurant door and say, hey, I'm willing to wash dishes for a meal if I, need to. And I can do it. Physically, it's a lot harder now. I was in my 20s. That was about 44 years ago. But anyway, as life progressed and we moved to Arizona, I got my real estate license, was involved in property management, met my future husband-to-be, was married to him for 10 years. He was a cocaine addict, alcoholic. A lot of bad stuff went down when I first moved here, to the point where I finally decided I'm going back to college because I'm tired of this. I got to get my bachelor's degree. So I went to the University of Phoenix at night. Took me 2 years, got my bachelor's in business information systems. 4 months into it, working for Microsoft as a Microsoft certified engineer doing technical support for Windows 98. I got fibromyalgia, had a panic attack. Had to have someone drive me home because my hands were like this. I could not open them. How do you hold on to a steering wheel? I was crying profusely. It was the weirdest thing I've ever been through. They all thought I'd lost my mind. I was just under so much stress that when it finally snapped. So I know what it's like to really hit bottom. I didn't know what I had. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was losing my mind. I got home and I couldn't stand my clothes. I couldn't stand to be touched. What the hell? Long story short, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 1998, April 4th, 1998. So I got a major anniversary. I got so many medical major anniversaries. 10 years later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was taking care of my elderly mother at the time, and I thought I had hit rock bottom before. Life was really, really hard, and we didn't have very much money. But we did it, and we made it, my mom and I. And when it was all over with, I had cousins that came crying because I didn't ask them for help. Didn't cross my mind. My chasm of life was my mother and my father and I wasn't used to having cousins to rely on. So I am, to quote my neighbor next door, very independent and hard to deal with. Not really. I'm very independent, yes. Oh, thank you, Heather. Anyway, I got the bachelor's degree, but I couldn't do the job anymore. I went to the University of Arizona, at night, got my webmaster certification so that I could learn how to build websites. Anything with a deadline, anything with computers is so highly stressful. A fibromyalgia person shouldn't go there because fibromyalgia is about stress. Good stress, bad stress, you've got to learn how to manage it. That's why I teach about flow. If I don't let the stress flow through me, around me, if I get mad, I let it blow and then I pull it back. But you got to let it do whatever. You got to feel it. We're not Mr. Spock. We're given emotions for a reason. They're there to help you heal. So go ahead and feel it. If you're feeling low and you're feeling down, first thing you got to do is ask yourself, is this my energy? As an empath, is this my energy or is this coming from somewhere else? You may be picking up on a neighbor's energy, someone walking by your house. And then be quiet for a moment and listen. Listen and see what you hear. I ended up getting my master's degree in 2016, y'all. Not that long ago, at 57 years old. And that's my biggest accomplishment in life. I am proud of that. If I never use that Master's of Fine Arts, it's mine. I worked my ass off for that. And when people talk down to me or discount me, which happens a lot lately, in case you guys haven't noticed, I think it's happening to all of us a lot lately. I think about what have I accomplished in my life. And all of a sudden, I'm in the reading. Hi, Rachel! Like Andrea gave me a reading today. I just bought her a cup of coffee. It was like I didn't intend for her to give me a reading, but she did it anyway. And it was like, stand in your ground, stand in your power, be your authentic self, because that's who you do best. I was like, oh, on the Lightworkers Roundtable. Woo, that's awesome. So yeah, I think about my accomplishments. I've survived breast cancer. I got a master's degree. I've survived a marriage with an alcoholic drug addict. We used to deliver cocaine for a Greek mafia dude. I am so blessed to be walking this earth for more than a million reasons, mainly because of my own stupid choices. That's why I talk about victimhood. But that's a whole nother topic. Victimhood, when you're an adult, victimhood is all about the choice you made that put you in the situation that made whatever the event was happen to you, that caused the trauma or whatever. I'm not saying it's your fault that you're 100% your fault that it happened to you. I'm just saying it was your decision that started the process in motion. I won't be judgmental. Anyway, which led me to YouTube. My mom, they took my mom away from me as far as out of her care. I took care of her for 11 years. And then all of a sudden my brother decided, oh, you know what? All her money, where's her money going? Thought I was stealing my mom's money. So they took her out of my care and put her in a home. And then he can't figure out why there's no money to inherit. It was me. $2,000 a month for the home. That's just room and board for her, was what it was for her. That wasn't her diapers and all that other extra care that he thought I was stealing her money. So anyway, it ended up the family went, right, Katie off. She doesn't go to church anymore. She's stealing money from her mother, and she's smoking marijuana. So 99% of my going to get my master's degree was to you. You say all these things are wrong with me and I can't accomplish stuff, but golly, read my resume, folks. Read my resume. Now I don't want to brag. So I want to pull a card to start. When we're kind of 20 minutes in, let's pull a card. Andrea's cards, her lovely oracle deck. My old bag, my favorite tarot bag. It's perfect for these cards. Just perfect. Yes, families are sometimes the most vicious people that you know. Let me pull this card and we'll talk a little more about that. About vicious people. We need to know tonight. Looks like we're going to get more than one card. Lucky you. You're a light worker. You're awake. You're not having to get pulled into this kicking and screaming. And number 2. Thank you. Quickest way to raise your vibes is to list everything you're grateful for. And then every morning when you first wake up, focus on those things that you're grateful for. And they can be silly things. Hey, you know, I didn't wake up. I didn't have a sweat last night. I didn't wake up all and have to change my clothes. I'm sorry. I live in Arizona. It gets hot here, okay? And I've already had it hot enough at night that even with the windows open and a fan on, I've had to change what I was sleeping in. So keep your gratitude, man. Being thankful and gratitude. Those are you fall into that and you start showing that and live like you're truly grateful. For this the silly things like I'm drinking a soda. I only drink a soda once a month because I don't like them that much. But I got to have a Dr. Pepper ever so often. It's a computer geek thing. Sorry. I lived on Dr. Pepper when I was working for Microsoft. So anyway, I found a pledge for us. It's the Lightworkers pledge. I will read it to you, but I'll also put it, I don't know where is the easiest place for you to copy and paste from. I will put it in the description and I'll post it. I'll pin it in the comments when this is over so that you guys will have it because we're going to read it every single week. It's the Lightworkers pledge. I declare a pledge to love. I will act based on judgments from the heart. I will act not based on judgments of fear or lack. I will act not controlled by self-interest, commercial, or political agendas. I will act attempting to reduce conflict and division. I will act to promote cooperation. I will act to promote consensus. I will act to promote peace. I will act recognizing the quality of all human beings. I will act to pursue a picture of collective truth rather than personal truth. I will act to acknowledge the responsibility of supporting others in their spiritual awakening. I will act and do not deliberately, knowingly misinform. I declare this pledge in love. I thought that was pretty powerful because it really does encompass everything a Lightworker is all about. We're all about spreading the light of cooperation, consensus, peace. Everyone's beautiful and the same. Everything is beautiful and the same. That ant out there toiling away its whole life, the bee going from flower to flower to flower, that life is just as important as yours. And until we get that, really get that, going to have environmental issues. Because they don't control their environment, they work with their environment. Everything in nature works with its environment, works with the flow of life. We're the stupid fools who think that we can control it. We'll put in a dam here and that won't have a repercussion in the flow of the universe. So this brings me to the concept of Kintsuji. I have a little picture here to show you. I don't know if it's going to show up. We'll see. It's an overlay. This is Kintsuji or Kintsukori. It's a Japanese art of repairing broken pottery by mending the areas of breakage with lacquer dusted or mixed with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. The method is similar to the Makai technique. As a philosophy, it treats breakage and repair as a part of history of the object rather than something to disguise. The whole premise of this poignancy or aesthetic is of the existence in Japan. People are mono-aware that compassionate sensitivity or perhaps identification with these things can come from outside yourself. It's estimated that this practice was started by a Japanese shogun. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Is in the 15th century. He was sent a Chinese bowl. Or he sent a Chinese bowl to China, and they sent it back for repairs because it got broken on the way there. So he repaired it the way they did, the way they always do. The Japanese look at it as though your broken pieces, your broken parts, those are what make you beautiful. It is not in the perfection of newness. It is in, some people actually will deliberately smash pottery to have it repaired with the Kintsuji process. It's kind of like a light worker. We get bashed and battered and that's why I wanted to show that first. Yeah, we talk about people being vicious. What do you do when it's someone that you kind of know? Oh, thank you, Heather. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I also have seen memes with it to describe a light worker that it's the breaks and the cracks in us, the hard times we go through, the getting battered on those rocks in the flow. As light workers, that's how our light leaks out everywhere. Doesn't always have to come out of your hands, your head, or whatever. It comes out of your broken places. Other people can find inspiration in your broken places. That's why I like Kintsuji. So I gotta tell you, my yeah. I'm trying to get rid of my picture here. My overlay. Thank you. Hi. Sorry, I'm learning this. Yesterday, after my live stream, I had a blast on my live stream yesterday. The cards were great. Everybody was happy. I was in the best mood, and I walked outside, was enjoying the sun before I was gonna grab a bite to eat. And my neighbor came home, and I'm like, oh, I'll say hi to him. And he's backing in, and he's having a hard time backing in. He always backs into his carport. I'm like pulling forward and pulling. I'm like, okay. So he finally opened his door, and I had to say hi about 5 times before he finally heard me, because he's 79 years old. He can't hear really well. He's 79 thinking, going on, he thinks he's 50. Anyway, he, I don't know, must have been in a mood, because we were talking. Everything was going fine. We were talking about our utility bills and going off the grid, and he was talking about how he wants to move to the little town of Catalina up north. And I said something about how it's crazy why Arizona isn't all solar anyway, because all the sunshine. Heck, we should have completely free utilities except water here, because we should be able to get it all from the sun and the wind, because they both are blowing a lot. The sun doesn't blow, but I mean, the wind blows and the sun's shining, especially in the month of June. So anyway, I'm telling him that, and all of a sudden his Republicans stepped in, and he heard free for everybody, and he went, why do you think? I was like, wow. He says, all your talk of off the grid, you know. And then he just started laying into me. I have a water leak in one of my sprinkler heads in the backyard, and he just took it on himself to try to find somebody to fix it for me, and he was going to pay for it. Okay, I'll let you. That's cool. Thank you very much. He found a man who didn't want to talk to me. He was looking for a shutoff valve. There's got to be one out here at the street, or I'm going, no. The only shutoff is out at the water main out in the alley. And he didn't want to hear me. And I'm getting madder and mad. I'm Gloria Steinem kind of girl. Don't you discount me because I don't look like you. There, that was really hard to say that nice. Because I'm a female. That don't fly no more, gentlemen. Welcome to the 21st century. So all I get was, that wasn't one of your best days, I'll tell you that. And I was like, why? Because I stood up for myself? You're on my property, you're going to help me, and you don't want to listen to me tell you what's going on, what the symptoms are, and what's wrong? I'm supposed to be nice and lay down and let you do that? I don't think so. So, and then he just went off. Just, you're so damn difficult to deal with, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, he's all over in his carport saying all this stuff to me, and I'm going, wow, what happened? Because we were laughing and talking about that I said everybody should get free solar. or free utilities. And whew, that's right, Rachel. Being a light worker does not mean being a doormat. So I just turned around and walked away. I didn't argue with him. I didn't say anything to him. I just, wow, and turned around and walked away. Then I thought about it. The man has been going, I'll admit it, he's been going to the food bank for me because I have been struggling financially the last 2 years. And he's been he goes for himself. So it's not like he's doing anything really that extra. It's taking up space in his car to bring it back, and he unloads it for me, brings it to the door. Well, he has my paperwork because he's my proxy to do that for me with the Feeding America, with the food bank people. So I was like, okay, I'm difficult to deal with. So I turned right back around, went right back outside, and I says, excuse me, but since I'm so difficult to deal with, I relieve you from any obligation to me. May I please have my paperwork for the food bank? Well, yeah. And he goes stomping in and brings it. And he goes, here you go. Yeah. I want to see what you do. I can walk to the Catholic Church down here. They have a food bank down there. No problem. I ride the bus there and back. It's not far. But he was just like, well, he didn't want to deal with me. I'm honoring that. You no longer have to deal with me. But that totally sucked all that joyous energy from my live stream out, flipped my head completely because it was so unexpected. So unexpected that it has actually had me off even all today. And I'm going, what am I going to do? I want to have great high vibes for you guys because I won't keep telling you what I do. But you know what? This is the perfect example because one of my questions that I have here is, in our current world climate, how do you find inspiration in the events of such a dark period in history? The first thing I have to say on that is I'm trying very hard to not look at it as a dark period. Because without, yes, Sheila, hi, Sheila Angel Feather Tarot. Ignore the haters. Your light is too bright for them. Thank you. We're a lighthouse. We attract them, gang. We attract them. When they're just used to being in the darkness, we're something new. It's hard to deal with, but it's kind of fun in a way. But yeah, in our current world climate, I try to look at it as though without being shown all this dark garbage, all this darkness that's been inside of all of us as countries and peoples, and just, it's affected everything down even to the animals. I don't look at that as a dark time. I look at that as an enlightening time. Because I'm a light worker, I'm seeing where the light of source is being shown in my perspective. So it's all in your perspective. Is it today? I was thrown off, but I giggled as my day went along. And I'm like, well, you know, I did get a little raise this year in my Social Security disability. I can actually afford to buy my own food this year. And I got, through my Medicare Advantage, I have an over-the-counter benefit that pays for $250 worth of healthy food every quarter. So every 3 months, I get $250 to go towards fresh vegetables and stuff. I'm fine. I really don't need him, and let people who or are really, really hungry, have that food. So it felt really good because through this, I have been hearing for the last month, he's been talking about Catalina and how pretty it is up there. And Spirit has been telling me, he's not going to be around to help you much longer. But it's okay. I got you back. I'm going, okay. Because I used to get water from him when I couldn't afford running water. So my water was turned off for 4 years. I hauled 5-gallon buckets back and forth from his house to my house for 4 years. Yeah. So this light worker is so grateful for his help that when I set that paperwork down in the house, I turned around and I was in my patio. He couldn't see me. And I just went, I send you away from me in love and light. I wish you a wonderful life, the rest of your life, without me in it. So it's not exactly the organized questions I had planned, but it's a very poignant example of how you raise your vibes. Today, because I've been off, I've been listening to music off and on all day. And when I listen to music, I dance. And yeah, I don't dance in any particular step. I mostly wiggle my hips to loosen them up. I got fibromyalgia, so hips, lower back. I also have arachnoiditis in my lower back. So I have a lot of back pain. So when I'm feeling like I need to keep them vibes going, I'll put on that music. And it doesn't matter if it's rock, pop. I like everything from Skylar Grey, The Weeknd, to Aerosmith, to Mozart, Pachelbel. It's music. It's a rhythm. It's a megahertz in your head, in your chakras. If it makes you pat your foot, dance, baby. Dance. Hey, Stony. Great timing, my friend. But that's what I do. It's like, instead of screaming and shoving your head in a pillow and screaming or wanting to cry, I'll go put on some music. I'll put on. Okay, Spirit, thanks. Enigma, The Principles of Lust. And I'll sing that to the top of my lungs. Affirmed in your mind, do what you will and do it until you find love. I can find joy anywhere now because I lived through real darkness, not evil darkness, but choices of life, growth, darkness. I have a friend that's like 28 years old. She told me this morning, okay, I told her some other story from my past. They come out every once in a while and she's like, my God, I need to just sit down with you and record you talking about your stories. And then I giggled and I told her about Stony Baker MD here. Yeah, free your mind. Your ass will flow. Yes. And tell her about Stony. And Stony's, he's all about go, baby, go. Whatever makes you happy, I grow my own medicine. That's another thing that keeps me calm and helps. Believe it or not, some people would argue with me that it doesn't, but it does raise my vibes. Because when I'm in pain, I don't have high vibes no matter what I do. All I want to do is sleep because gravity's not pulling on me and making me hurt. So, yeah, I use my marijuana. If I'm really down, really depressed, put on something like Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing, and smoke some marijuana. I'm not condoning it necessarily. It is my medicine that has been prescribed to me by 3 MD doctors. Okay. My cancer doctor, my primary care physician, and my plastic surgeon. So, you love sativas and music? I just love music. It doesn't matter what I'm, if I'm wanting to dance and wiggle, yeah. 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 And pancakes. Oh, I've been making banana pancakes lately. I discovered those crusty box banana bread mixes. You can divide that up into 3 equal parts. You know, weigh them up so that it's divided into 3 equal bowls. And that way you can divide the measurements in half because it uses 3 eggs. It makes 3 different batches of banana pancakes instead of banana bread. Easy peasy. Yes, you are Stony Baker ND. Yes, everyone. So, main question I have for you guys is, how do you start your process? How do you start it? What do you do? When you know you need to do something? It's because I hear I'm an Aquarius, so I'm always in my head. My thoughts start running away with themselves. Dr. Love prescribed you weed too, but I think he might not be a real doctor. I think he's my husband. Yes. I love it. It's only a matter of time. And if we can get that MORE Act signed, it'll help a lot because it's the first step in decriminalizing it federally. Start with what? I'm sorry. What is your process, Tony? We're all here. When you're feeling all bummed, what's your first process to bring yourself back up? Rachel. Anybody? I usually put on music. I mean, mine's pretty easy. But when I know I need it, no matter what I do, I'll watch stuff, mindless drivel to get my mind off of it. You know what I do? This is crazy. To get my thoughts to stop and slow down, I watch wood turning videos. Yeah, on a lathe. There's something about that repetitive motion. And I've always loved wood and the smell of wood. And Stony, you being a carpenter, oh my God. Yeah. I love wood. And yeah, I feel it. I feel that. So if you got, like, you're at work and you had an instance kind of like me where somebody just unloaded on you, like yesterday where somebody just unloaded on me and I really didn't do anything wrong except a couple weeks ago get mad at the guy he brought over to help me. Anyway, the guy couldn't help me anyway. He didn't know what the hell he was looking at because he was a carpenter. He was a handyman, not a plumber or an irrigation specialist. I need an irrigation dude. Well, I watched my dad and my brothers put that in. I know how to put a cap. I glue a cap. You take a hacksaw and you cut off PVC pipe and you glue a cap on it. That cap, that really stinky glue. Glue the cap on it. Hey, problem's eliminated, ain't it? And I can't find some man who is willing to do that for me. So today, part of my feeling better from what happened with him yesterday, I bought all the stuff on Amazon and I'm going to do that shit myself. Just like I always end up doing. Everybody goes, you get so damn independent. You know how to do so much. How come? Because I can't ever find anybody else to do it for me. I have to figure it out for myself. Manasa, take a deep breath and you talk to your wife and daughter. Oh, and you got beautiful. See, you've got that. I don't have people here. I live alone. Well, I live without humans. 3 cats. And all 3 of them are my glue. I can actually honestly say that when I was first diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I was suicidal. I'd just gotten a new career and I couldn't do it anymore. I was told I would never work again. So I wanted to kill myself. But one of the main things that wanted me to not do that, go there, was the love of my cat. And I only had one at that time. But she was like 17 years old. So she was like my teenage child. Oh God, when she passed away, when I had to have her put to sleep, oh, that was hard. It was, yeah. I got 2 half Maine Coons to fill the hole in my heart. And then I have mice showing up in my grow room. That's an expensive place to have them. Eat shit out of my kitchen, not that. Oh, and so I go, oh, universe, help me. What am I going to do? I can't kill them. Because I just told you that ant and that bee has as much a right to be here as I do. That's my belief. So I can't kill that mouse. What do I do? A couple weeks later, this little gray kitten shows up at my house. Sweet, sweet kitty. Hungry for love and hungry. So I fed her. I have an outside kitty now. And Miss Misty comes running every time I go outside. Doesn't matter where she is, what part of it. She's always here in the yard. Got almost a quarter of an acre, so she got a lot of hunt and play area. And she comes running and her tail's up, all happy to see you. What does that do? That's complete, total, pure, unconditional love. And I'm like, oh. But but the universe brought her to me. She just appeared. She did cheat on me yesterday morning though. Because I picked her up and she smelled like, I'm trying to decide, I think it smelled a lot like, the Calvin Klein cologne Obsession. Really reminded me a lot of that. So I'm thinking, okay, she's been over at somebody's house who's a little bit older. Next door on this side, that married couple over here. And then I got to thinking, what if she's their cat and she's living over here because they've got 5 obnoxious dogs and she don't like their dogs. I don't get along with them either. So if Misty wants to live here, Misty's my baby. She showed up and told me her name. She was like, hi, my name is Misty Gray. Meow, meow, meow. She's a little cute little sweet voice. Nope. I'm wearing perfume. Is she in heat? No, that's another thing. I know she was dumped. She's fixed. Because I keep checking her tummy. She's definitely old enough to be very pregnant if she wasn't fixed. She's not. Used to be a veterinary assistant. I know what that feels like. There's little bubbles in there that get, as they get farther along, them little bubbles get harder and stiffer, and then they start to move. But nah, She's been here long enough to already have had him if she was pregnant. So she's not in heat. She doesn't act like it either. Believe me, female cats in heat. Oh my goodness. So that's my quick activity to recharge. I go outside, putt around in my garden, take my shoes off, stick my feet in the dirt, sit in the chair, and here comes Misty. And then she'll come and lay down just out of my reach. But she's happy. And she's happy I'm there. And I'm happy she's there. And I'll just listen and enjoy it. Next thing you know, she's off chasing a lizard or something else. She's gone. But I put in parentheses here. What's your favorite activity to do for a quick recharge? A nap. Oh my goodness. You know, I was going to do a grounding. But I think, I feel good. I don't know about you guys, but we can do a grounding if you want to. Just close your eyes. Take a deep breath, and as you take it very slowly and count slowly to 5. And then hold it. Count to 3 as you're holding it. And then let it out as slowly and completely as you can. Silly videos. I love it. Yes. Yes. Randy Rainbow. Trey Crowder, the liberal redneck. Makes me laugh. Oh my gosh. Anyway. The breathing. That's another really quick recharge. Changes your thought pattern because it infuses you with oxygen. And when you do it, as a singer, I was trained, you breathe on a count of 10, hold it on a count of 5, let it out on a count of 10. And you do that 3 times in a row. By the time you're at that end of that, letting it out the 3rd time, you're high. You're light-headed because you've taken in so much oxygen into the deepest parts of your lungs. Believe it or not, as a singer, that brings you in tune to your 3rd eye, which I was taught to stay on key. You have to buzz your forehead here. Well, that was before I realized that wasn't your 3rd eye. So now I just know. To stay on key, buzz your pineal gland. To stay on key, buzz your 3rd eye. So I can do that with a hum in a meditation. I can do that. Cat videos. Yes. Cat videos. Oh, some of them are so funny. Oh, 2 cats. Great big bully cat. Smaller cat. Smaller cat dives into the big bully cat. The big bully cat just goes and falls over with the other cat and starts kicking him with his hind feet. It was like, obviously they were playing, but it was so funny. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a closing couple thoughts. Shine your light and make a positive impact on the world. There's nothing so honorable as helping improve the lives of others. That's a quote by Roy T. Bennett. I thank you all for coming. I hope that I brought you some ideas for developing your own process and maybe some rituals as you go through this change. Because believe it or not, those of you who are newly awakening, even if you don't want to be doing this awakening thing, change is coming. You don't need to prepare for it. You don't need to to do it, because it's going to pick you up and take you kicking and screaming, whether you like it or not, because we're moving into a whole nother part of the cosmos, the planet itself. Our galaxy is moving and changing. So it's just going to take you along for your ride. And you know what happens on that ride? You stop being that squishy caterpillar and become the butterfly. You have your metamorphosis, folks. That's what I'm looking forward to. Is when we've all had that and we're living in our renaissance and people are doing the things for a living that make them passionately happy and enjoying what each other is doing because they're passionately doing it. Sorry. Sometimes these concepts hit me, and it's not really me, it's my guides. One of them is my grandma from Kentucky, so sometimes the concepts are very simplified. My sweet healer grandma from Kentucky, who was also not talked about much and ostracized in the family. I know why now. She and I are two peas in a pod. I even look like her. So I look like a combination of her and my mom. Yes, Stoney, the only constant in life is everything changes. So you either panic when it happens or you welcome it and adapt to it. And I learned a long time ago, you got to kind of learn to be adaptable because the more you resist, the harder it is. The harder it is. And when you have things like neighbors that go off on you because they had a bad day, he's a gambler. I have a feeling he just came from the casino where he lost. And he probably lost big time because he's a blackjack player. Hi, greeter. Mwah! Welcome, welcome. Teresa Cole. I like calling you by your name, TAK. Oh, yes. So I have a feeling that's what it was yesterday. But that still didn't give him an excuse to rake me over the coals and treat me like a child. He's 15 years older than I am. That's all. I know marriages that are farther apart like than that. He's treating me like my damned husband. Okay? I don't have one of those for a reason. Thank you very much. I had one once. Don't get me wrong. I will commit my life to someone, no problem. It's the legal piece of paper I'll never get again because it just makes it too hard if things go wrong. Yes, Teresa Cole is your name. And I'm glad you don't mind because I was doing it in other chats and then I got to thinking, well, maybe she doesn't want me calling her, hi, Teresa Cole, instead of hi, greeter. You know me, I just got to be different. So I thought, well, maybe I should ask her. Anyway, I thank you guys so much. And I went over a little bit, but that's okay. Next week, I am excited. I will be welcoming Wisdom of the Blue Lotus, EQ, also from Soul Sisters. Soul Sisters will be with us, and I'm really excited to hear what she does. And yeah. I have lined up clear into May, including beautiful Manasa. She's coming. Every Thursday, I've got someone you all know coming. So I am excited about this. And I really hope that it helps because that's the whole idea of the channel. It's not for me to make money or any of that. It's for you guys. It's for you guys. Have a groovy day. Stoney, you gonna go back? You gonna go live later? Actually, I like it when you go live on Fridays. Especially, oh, you guys. Something to raise your vibes. What are you doing for April Fool's Day tomorrow? I'm not telling you mine do. What are you doing? I'll leave you with that thought. The future is bright because it's April Fool's Day tomorrow. Have a good day. Have a good night. I love you guys so much. Be kind to one another. Most of all, be kind to yourself. Because believe you me, we're harder on ourselves than anyone else is. So we need to love ourselves more. And Saturday Solutions last week, I was like talking to you guys about hugging yourself. Hug yourself. Right now, if you don't have a small pod of people you can touch, that's about the only person I can hug is me. Love you all. Thank you. Good night, everybody. We'll see you Saturday.